I think if you ask every man in the world, every single one, when we were about 10 years old or 11 years old, how do you want to live when you're in your late 20s, early 30s? Like in 20 years time, where do you want to be? They'd all say the same thing. They say, I want a giant house. I want lots of pretty women. I want to drive around in fast cars. That's what they would say. Now, I find a lot of men in the positions of a lot of men who attack people like me for living my lifestyle. I find their position wholly dishonest because they've had the dream that they did have as a young boy. Every single young boy had the exact same dream. They've had this dream beaten out of them by bad relationships, lack of ambition, working their crappy job, getting fat, whatever it is they've done in their life that has shrunk the possibility of this dream happening for them. They then internalize that anger and they burst it out at people like me. Oh, Tristan, yeah, you're living such a superficial lifestyle and you shouldn't be living that way. It's like they would if they could. Yeah. So, I'm one of the most fulfilled, happy people on the planet. Because, when I was, as I said, I don't come from money. Me and my brother used to live in a homeless shelter in England. Very long story, when we were very young. To come from absolutely nothing and to be living the way I live is incredible. And I wake up every day and I can't believe it. So I have everything I want from him.
Do you know why the guy at the cigar bar is always so nice to me? He came over, whispered in my ear. He keeps the secret boxes of cigars for me. There's actually a very good story behind that. I once sent my assistant to that cigar lounge to restock my humidor. And I gave her a list of 6 different types of cigar to get. She came back with 7 boxes. I look at the receipt, I was only charged for 6. So what happened is a new employee at the store, this box had been sitting on the table. She got mine, rung them up, put them on top of this box, and then bagged them all up and sent them away with my assistant. So I knew that they'd given me a free box of cigars. Romeo and Julieta short Churchills. The box is worth about $250, 250 euros. So I smoke them, cut them up, smoke them whenever I was busy. A few days later, I go into the cigar lounge, and I told the exact guy who we spoke to today, I said, my brother, count your Romeo and Julieta short Churchills. I bet you're missing some. Yeah, we're missing 25. We're missing a full box. I said, you accidentally gave me that box of cigars. He went, so did you bring them back? I said, no, I'm smoking them at home, but please charge me for them. And he was like, you are asking me to charge you for cigars that no one knew that you had after they left this shop. And I was like, yeah, I don't want anyone getting in trouble on my behalf. I can afford my cigars, and I like you guys, and I like the staff here. Now you saw the way the guy treats me. Whisper in my ear, look, we got a box of this come in. I haven't told anyone. I put it to the side to you. I took that box home with me today. Keeps all the good shit for you. Right. You treat people with respect, and they give you respect back. That's why you see people around this country always treat me very well. He's not treating me very well because I'm his fucking a friend. I don't know the guy that well. But I just gave him that one gesture of respect 3 years ago. Every Christmas they gift me boxes of cigars. That exact lounge. So yeah, you got to be a good person, man.
What advice could you give to those people who don't have that strong father figure?
I'm not really one to feel sorry for people that much because of the way that the internet has changed the world. I believe that people have positive role models and examples thrown in their face all the time. I feel like to sit back and say, oh, well, I'm just a video game porn addicted playing guy with no muscles and no physique and no physicality. Oh, well, it's because I haven't got a positive role model. I feel like today isn't an excuse. I feel like that every single second that you're scrolling on your phone or looking at Instagram, etc., there are dudes out there, even so much as selling little coaching calls or courses or, who you'd want to be like. Mm. But it's easy. It's easier to sit around and play video games and masturbate than it is to get the money to buy real supercars and seduce beautiful women in the real world. It is much easier. And because it's easier, I feel like a lot of people don't want to weigh out. So I don't need to give them advice. I feel like the advice is out there. If you're watching this and that describes you, good. At least you're listening to people with a healthy mindset who maybe can inspire you a little bit to try to be like that. But the type of person who really needs this advice and isn't going to get it is never going to watch this podcast. They're not going to look at the photo of you there with your shoulders, etc., standing next to me with all my whatever car I'm next to and think, I'm going to listen to these two. So those people aren't watching. So we don't need to worry about them, you know? Just let them, flip our burgers and cook our meals.
Anyone can selectively choose how they're spending their time or even who they're following.
Yes.
So if you want to sort your life out and you want to be more conscious about who you're following, just unfollow or even mute all the people that just posting crap.
Yeah.
Start following people who are spreading a good message. And one thing which I've done, which has helped me a lot, because I think I made the choice to live alone when I was 25-ish. And it was very weird being alone because it was the first time I'd lived alone ever. So I was just surrounded by this eerie silence, which I wasn't used to. So what I did was I was just constantly listening to podcasts or audiobooks. So I was just constantly getting these positive messages from the right people all day, every day. And the moment I was doing that, it just completely sort of transformed my mindset.
Well, yeah, it's the old saying of, you become the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. That's older than the internet. That saying it predates the internet. Mm-hmm. But essentially it means the 5 people who influence you the most. And if you do live alone, or if you don't have many friends, or you don't have a big group of people, what you're watching and what you're listening to influences you massively. So yeah, cut the crap out. Exactly the same with a healthy diet. Mm-hmm. It influences your health. A healthy mind is exactly the same thing. Scrolling up and down Netflix, watching trash all day is not going to get you anywhere, literally, ever. Whereas, you might hear a piece of advice in a podcast, in this podcast, that makes you wake up and think, I actually need to get my shit in order. So yeah, be careful what influences.